boning. It's an underlay dress. It forms like a bell. So it's always worn underneath the dress, underlay of the dress. I don't know if you have a picture there. Alright, so now we talk about the body form, which we all know. The body form can also be called the dress form. This is what we use. We place our dress on to do all sorts of decorative designs you want to work on. When you want to apply your appliques, you want to start doing embellishments. So we make use of the body forms. Alright? So now we move on to calico for mock-ups. Yes. Don't forget, you can actually make a sample before going to your real production of the wedding dress. So now for you to make a sample, right, you need to make use of your calico. You make a sample in order for you to check your pattern that, oh, okay, this is good to go. Now I can go directly to my fabric instead of you spoiling the thousands of fabrics, right? So that is what calico for mock-ups is used for. Use it to make a sample before going to your production of the wedding dress. Now we have the bust cup, which is also the push-up pads. We use it more to emphasize on the corset most times, right? We all know the push-up back-ups. We talk about the boning. The boning. We talk about the boning casing. We talk about the highlights, the horse hair. How many of us know horse hair? Crinoline. Okay, which one are we familiar with? Crinoline or horse hair? Okay, it is also called horse hair. What we all know as crinoline. Right? Sorry, please, can we display pictures? Alright, thank you. Yeah, this is it. The horse hair. Right? So now, we also have the double-sided fusibles interfacing. Do we know what that is called? Hemming gum, which we all know. Right? The image is over there. Hemming gum. It's a double-sided fusible interfacing. We also have pins. We work more on pins. We have the hand sewing needles. We have the beading needles. We have the sewing threads. That's when you are working on embellishments. You want to bead up a fabric for your dress to be very unique. For people to wonder, wow, where is this fabric from? You can actually bead a whole dress. Right? Okay, so now, we move on to the measurements now. I'm sure we are all familiar with measurements, which we have always done while doing your basic skirts, your basic bodies, right? So now, we talk about the measurements now. We have the dress length. And where is the dress length taken from? Okay. It's actually taken from the shoulder point to your desired length. The shoulder point to the desired length. We have the shoulder measurement. Where is our shoulder measurement taken from? Okay, so now for the shoulder, it depends on what you're actually working on. If you're actually drafting the dartless bodies, right? You know the shoulder is taken from the neck to your shoulder point, right? But if you're actually working on your fitted bodies, your dark bodies, it means you're taking the measurement from the shoulder point to your neck point. Do we get that? Yes. Alright, so we have the bust circumference. And where is the bust circumference taken from? Which is the fullest part, right? Of the upper bodies. Now we also have the waist circumference. We also have the hip circumference. We have the back to waist, which is also the nape to waist, isn't it? Your back neck bone to your natural waist, which is the same thing as your back length, isn't it? Alright, we also have our front half length, which is the same thing as your front length. And where is that measurement taken from? To your waistline. Alright? So now we have the bust point length, which is taken from your shoulder point to the bust point. Right? We have the under bust length, which is taken from your shoulder point to your under bust level. Right? So now we have the round under bust. So where is the round under bust taken from? Under bust, as it says. Right? So now we have the round upper bust. Where is this measurement taken from? Which is at the chest level, right? But now you are going all round. Right? So where you use these measurements most times is when you are working on the tube dresses. Right? So you don't have stories that touch. When you are dancing and everything just... Exactly. So now we have the motion point length. Who knows where the motion point length is? Yes, it looks surprisingly, right? Now, it is always about 4 inches before the nail length. 4 inches before the nail length. Yes, I'm talking about inches now, I'm not cm. 4 inches before the nail length. Now, for instance, your bride is dancing and she's not free to dance. Why? Just because at the nail level is too tight. She can't even walk freely. So now this measurement is actually very necessary in order for your bride to be elegant enough to display the dress, the beautiful garment. Alright? So now we have the motion point circumference. So now, at the length you've taken, you need to take the round measurements. You can as well tell your client to just have a kind of walking pose, a slight walking pose. Then you take the measurement all around, so it doesn't become too tight and not too loose. Do we get this?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so now we have the hip length. And the measurement is taken from the waist to the hip level, right? Which is the same thing as the what? Hip depth. Alright, so we have the neck measurement and the sleeve measurement. The sleeve length. And you know the sleeve length is actually still based on your desired length. Either short, either three-quarter, either long sleeve, or you want it to flow to the ground. Right? Alright, so thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, yeah. One house, please. One house. So let's try and talk to ourselves like a fashion designers now. Like a fashion designer that wanted to make a wedding dress. So basically now, they talked about the fabrics, they talk about the components, right? They talk about the different types of wedding dresses. I want you to know that, you know, we are talking about bridals. And we can't say bridals is until just wedding dress. Is that right? When we are talking about bridals, we are talking about both the bride and the what? And the bridesmaids. Are we here? So basically, like Ms. Bimsola was emphasizing on the kind of style or kind of outfit you can wear as a bride. Now I'm talking to you like as a designer, not as a bride. Are we here?
Yes.
So basically, I'm going to be going through some tips on how to make a perfect wedding dress. Tips on how to make a perfect wedding dress. If you're writing, it's fine, because we are recording this. Definitely, they're going to send this for us to, you know, download. All right. So number one, that I'm going to be talking about, if you want to make a wedding dress, it is important to give yourself plenty of time. Are we here? Don't rush in saying, okay, though a client can come around and, tell you, I want this kind of dress, so. I don't expect a client to come and meet me and the wedding is the following month. Wait. Normally, are we here?
Yes, sir.
That kind of thing, if a client come over to me and one house, and he or she, because a groom they want to make for the bride. So probably the person said wedding is in next month. Do you understand? That means I'm running a fashion house that already have the ready-made dresses. I get what I'm saying. So not like I actually want to start making it now. Because the first thing I talk about now is giving yourself what? Plenty of time. Because I've seen a dress that is made in a year. Yes. I've seen a dress that is made in a year, depending on the details on the dresses we are working on. Are you getting it? So you have to note that if you're collecting a job from a client, you have to do what? Take your time. The first thing that has to be at the back of your mind is that I really need time to do what? To work on this project. So number 2 is to set a budget. Setting of what? A budget. Because your client coming over to meet you that she wants a dress, automatically you yourself have to do what? The breakdown of what? Of expenses. Are you getting it? So asking your client that, what is actually your what? Your budget. So that I can know, okay, this is what I need to do to this. Oh, probably the client wants a cone kind of a flare and the budget is not up to what you can use to buy the fabric. You understand? You understand? You are not running a charity organization. So you just have to you have to talk to the person and know the budget she's actually working on. So it's very, very important. Hope you understand that part. Yes. So another thing is that you have to tell your clients to try on different dresses. Are we here? If you are a kind of person that is specialized in making wedding dresses, are you hear what I'm saying? So you have to have probably some dresses. It may not be a wedding dress that your clients can be able to fit in. Or probably you even ask your client to come with some of our dresses. Are you getting it? So that you guys can actually, observe the body shape and what can actually fit the client. It is very, very important. So the next one I'm going to be talking about is you have to gather inspiration for the dress you're making. You have to what? Inspiration for the dress you're making. Because as a fashion designer, you're not expected to know it all. You understand? You have to make research, you have to gather informations. Don't just say, I don't used to use Instagram. I don't like Instagram. Or probably Facebook, I don't want to. You understand? You have to go on and make researches on different dresses. Do you understand? It is very, very important to gather your information. So another thing is to study your pattern choice carefully. You have to do what? Study your pattern choice carefully. Are you getting what I'm saying? For instance, a client wants a strapless kind of dress, and then you want to actually draft a pattern according to that. Will you choose a darkless body or a shaped body? Which one are you choosing? A shaped bodies. So, as a designer, you have to understand all the patterns. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? All what? The pattern. It is very, very important so that you know what exactly you actually need to use to make or to what exactly you need to draft as a pattern to make the kind of dress of your client's choice. So the next one is do your sewing research as well as it's still like the same thing as you gathering your information. Do you understand? Because, like I said, you actually can't know it all, and actually that is the primary reason why we are here. Is that not so? That is the primary reason why we are here, to know probably the drafting part and what? And the sewing techniques. It is very, very important, because the way I'm going to sew a cone dress is different from making a mermaid dress. Some sewing techniques I'm going to use in making a cone flare is different from what I'm using for a ball dress. Do you understand? So you have to gather information pertaining to what? To the sewing aspect of the dress you are making. So I think, okay, another thing, this is the last part, which is the take care of your dress. Take care of your dress while you are making it. It is very, very important, because Mr. Bowale was talking about something about mock-ups. Are we here? The reason for making a mock-up for a wedding dress is because probably I'm using a white fabric that I don't even need to rough handle. Some net fabrics, if you lose it once, it's gone. If you're using velvet fabric, if you lose it once, it's gone. Do you understand? So you have to make what? First of all, make a mock-up. That is why you see some wedding dresses, like probably they can be like 500,000, they can be like 600,000. Because I took my time to first of all make what? A mock-up. Because I don't want to rough handle your fabrics. I don't want your wedding dress to look rough. It has to be neatly sewn. So making mock-ups now, number one, give you the fitting, because you have to invite the client over for fitting section. Because if you are doing this, if this is actually what you want to do as a designer for a wedding dresses or something like this, that is why I said you need to take time. For instance, a client came around, probably you tell them, this is going to be done in 2 months, this is going to be done in 3 months. Within the 3 months, okay, so date, you're coming for your what? For fitting. And you use probably your calico or other materials that you feel is actually not expensive for the mock-ups. So by the time you're done with the mock-up, the client wear it, you see that, okay, this is nice on the client, you don't have any issue. You have to do what? Loosen it up, and then use the mock-up to cut out the what? The main fabrics. Do you understand? So that is the time we are taking in making whatever you want to make, and it is very, very important for you to take care of the fabric. If you are making a wedding dress, I can, it's not advisable for you to start making it where you are eating amala and a wedding. Do you understand? It is very, very important to take care of the environment where you are what? Sewing that kind of dresses. So, sorry.
Ask your client to try on different dresses.
Okay.
Gather inspiration for the dress you're making.
Okay.
Study your pattern choice carefully.
Okay.
And take care of your dress while making it.
Okay.
Doing sewing research. Use pictures.
The sewing research, as you can actually merge it together with inspiration information data. So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the review samples, constructions and spec and patterns needed for a wedding dress. Are we here? The construction process and the pattern needed for your what? For your wedding dress or for any bridal dresses. Are we here? What did I mean by construction process? Okay. Okay. So this is more or less like a guideline in what? In making a dress. So what's the first thing you're going to do? what's the first thing you are doing for, if you want to make a dress, wedding dress, or any kind of bridal? The first thing is taking your measurements, okay? The second is fabric sourcing, okay? Pattern drafting, okay? Selection of what? Pattern before drafting, okay? So drafting your pattern. So what's the next thing? Mock-up. Thank you very much. Please appreciate that. Okay, so what's the next thing after the mock-up? What is the next thing? Thank you. Fitting is after the mock-up. So after fitting, what's the next thing? Losing up and what? Cutting off the main fabric. Losing up and cutting off the main fabric. So what's the next thing after cutting your fabric? You said? You said what? Okay. Probably you will need it, maybe you want to put your interfacing of anything, your ironing or something. You need to do that before going directly into what? Into sewing process. Are we here? Before going directly into sewing process. So what's the next thing after the sewing process? Fitting again. Yeah, I like that. Fitting. After fitting again, what's the next thing? The next thing is the embellishment. Are we here? The next thing is what? The embellishment. It is very, very important. This is the process of probably adding your trimmings or appliques on the dress you are making. This is the process of what? What do you understand by trimmings? Huh? Trimmings. Have we heard this before? People at the back. Trimmings. Have you heard it before? You've not. What do you understand by that? Can someone talk about?
I said like adding details to, as in what the visual representation.
Oh, okay. So what we're talking about, basically, is more or less like a pattern kind of appliques as well. A pattern type of appliques. That is what we mean by the trimmings. So it can be your fabrics. Do you understand? It can be something plastics. It can be anything that comes with pattern. Do you understand? It's not something that is in pieces. Like I have to start doing one by one. It comes probably in yardage. Do you understand? They always come in yardage. So that is what we call trimmings. So you embellishing your dress is very, very important as well. So what's the next thing after embellishing? Embellishments. Thank you. You said? You still need to do what? You still need to cross-check again. Probably where you are trying, where you put one applique is not the right place you're supposed to put it. You still need to do what? To cross-check. Because here, are we here? One house please. It is here in Nigeria that we do everything from start to finish. In other countries, they actually, do division of labor. That is what we are doing in the group right now. Some will do what? Draft the pattern. Some will do the cutting. Some will do the mock-up. Some will do the fitting. Some will do the embellishment. Do you understand? Because if I'm the only one doing everything, at some point I may be kind of stressed out that, I may be doing a wrong thing. Do you understand? It is very, very important you divide your work. Do you understand? So it is very, very important. Don't do start to finish. So that is why if you own a fashion, one house. If you own a fashion house, it's better you get staff that will start working for you. Don't come and kill yourself. It is very, very important to do that. All right. So. Okay, like I've talked about the organizing a fitting section. It is very, very important as well in making a wedding dress because this will make it look perfect when it's done. This will make it look what? Perfect when it's done. You can't, if a tailor told you that, okay, your dress is going to be done in 2 months, and the person doesn't tell you to come for fitting in any day, just be aware that, just know that you're on your own. telling you that, okay, madam, your outfit is going to be done probably in the next 2 months. And the person will ask you to come for fitting in any day till that date. No, it can come out well, but it's a two-way thing, actually. So, that is it. So, another thing you need to note is that you need to review comments and make necessary what? Adjustments. You need to review comments. Whenever a client comes and the person said, okay, I don't actually like the way this is, I don't like the way the down part is, and you, out of being stressed, saying, okay, no problem, and later you just went ahead without making the adjustment, that actually doesn't help. It's not going to help the brand. You understand? It is very, very important you make or you review all the comments your clients made, and then you make the necessary adjustments on the dresses. Hope everyone is understanding what I'm trying to say right now. Okay, like I was talking about, probably for instance, the motion point of your dress. Sometimes at least above the nail, it can be like 6 cm, but that doesn't stop me doing more. Do you understand? That doesn't stop you doing more. You can still bring it up more, as far as it's not touching what? The hip. Anything that goes below the hip, like by probably 10 cm, is what we call the trumpet kind of dress. Hope everyone understands this part. From start to finish, hope you understand and enjoy the whole class. Alright, thank you very much for attending. Okay. So, I will still attend the question and answer part. Alright. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
2 weeks on this construction process. It's not the first time. The same thing on this construction process. As a listing for us.
Okay, no, I've already listed everything, which is, okay, which everybody, alright, I have them here. So the first thing is what? The first thing is what? Making research.
Okay, there was no part on
Alright, sorry.
Just want to mention it.
Okay, sorry. Making what? Research. And the next thing is what? Getting the measurement of the client you're making the dress for. Are we here? After getting the measurement, the next thing is what? The next thing is making your mock-ups for the design. Okay, sorry. The next thing, okay, sorry. Okay, taking your measurements, and then you source for what? You source for fabric. After sourcing for fabric, you then do your mock-ups. Are we here? Wait, sorry, the mock-ups is just coming up here. Okay. Sourcing for fabric, you do your pattern drafting. After pattern drafting, you do your mock-ups. After mock-up, you do the fitting. Are we here?
Yeah.
After the fitting, you make adjustments. I think this is not a part of what we talked about last. So after fitting, we do what? Adjustment. Are we here? So after the adjustment, cutting off fabric. Cutting on fabric, sorry. After cutting on fabric, you do the application of interfacing, if necessary. Application of what? Interfacing, if necessary. Are we here? So the next thing is the sewing process. After sewing process, we still have the fitting again. After fitting, we still make necessary adjustment again. This is the second part, we are making necessary adjustment, and then we do the what? The embellishment. Are we here?
Yes.
We do the what? Embellishment. So, okay, after the embellishment, what do you do?
Quality check.
Quality check, thank you. So after the quality check, you can do your delivery. Are we here? No, that is actually another thing. It's another, it's still part of the guidelines I started with before, which is taking your time, doing your quality check, doing your review and everything. So any question again, please? Any question? I need everybody to ask questions. 1 or 2 questions. I need questions. Yeah. What if the person doesn't come for fitting? You're right, actually, because we have some clients that, this is what I want to do and I'm not doing it. The last time we had I think for induction, some people came around for fashion law. Are we here? As a firm, as a brand, you understand? If I'm actually delivering to you, I expected you to make some statement in written, which stated all the guidelines of how you operate. And the person is going to do what? Sign. So that it won't be like, oh, because we've had cases that verbally you have to conversate on something, and later on the client will be like, I didn't say that. When did I say that? Do you understand? You have to put it in written. That is mostly what some bigger brands do before making a delivery. It is very, very important. Do you understand? Even if you are not doing it up to that level, I can be having a conversation with you and still be having a recording on the brand. Just to be sure that, okay, you said you're coming so date, and you don't come around. Some clients can say, you didn't tell me. I'm not aware of it. And if you want to even do it well, you send reminders as well. You send what? Reminders that, okay, so date, don't forget your fitting day. It's very, very important. Next question, please.
But assuming the person is not eating you have to sew and send to abroad or send to
Okay.
is there no way you can manage to make the perfect dress without the person?
Let me tell you the truth of the thing. We have people that make dresses here, and their client is out there, and they do what? They ship down to them for fitting, and they ship back for making the dress. Yeah. Seriously. So that's when probably I can actually, for that kind of a client, why can't I charge you like 3 million, 4 million for that kind of, yes. There are some dinner dresses at the, just concluded this multi-choice award of a thing that cost roughly 5 million, 6 million, 7 million. You understand? So it is very, very, if you check all the successful designers in the world, that is part of their checklist. You have to make yourself available for what? For fitting. It is very, very important.
Getting accurate measurements.
All right.
Would that not help in cases like this where the person is not available for fitting?
Okay. The essence of fitting is that, number one, you're taking your time. In the course of making the mock-up, probably what if your client has gained a little bit weight in where you don't expect after taking the proper measurements? Do you understand? So all those things need to be put into consideration while you're making all those outfits, because they might even lose weight in that process. Do you understand? That's why for a bride, at least, a bride must come for fitting twice before the day of the event. It is very, very important. You understand? Because sometimes logistics, those people don't really stress themselves on logistics these days. When I have my money, I don't need to go around and up and down. So, next question. Did I answer that properly?
Yes.
All right. Next question, please.
Sorry, I want to ask.
All right.
For people that buy dresses abroad, for
Okay.
instance, you buy a Vera Wang dress,
Okay.
and you are in Nigeria,
Yes, ma'am.
and you tell them this is the size of dress you want,
Okay.
but unfortunately you're unable to travel for fitting.
Okay.
What happens in that kind of situation?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, they have to still go through fitting process, but this is how they do it. They get some mannequins, because we have some mannequins that is quite adjustable. Do you understand? They have to adjust it to your exact body size before they send it down. It is very, very important. Fitting is, there's no way you have to skip yourself from it. Is it that they represent you with a mannequin or you go there by yourself? So, is that correct? Okay, all right. Any question again? All right.
Thank you for the opportunity. So, first of all, my question is from Mr. Iguana.
Okay.
When she was speaking on the dresses for different body shapes,
Okay.
I noticed she didn't tell us for the rectangular shape, what kind of dresses should they avoid?
Okay, what they should avoid.
Yeah.
Okay, firstly, when we are talking about a rectangular shape, kind of, what are we talking about? What kind of shape are we talking about? A kind of straight kind of shape. Probably, if you have that kind of shape, you know, your ball dress cover up almost half of what? Of your body. Are we here? The ball dress cover up almost, not almost, like even more than half of the body. So that kind of dress is actually okay for the person that has that kind of shape, because your ball dress has to be fitted from where? From the shoulder up to where? To the waist level. That will work better for the person. To avoid. Okay, what the person have to avoid? Number one, you have to avoid any outfit, any silhouette kind of outfit. Silhouette. Are we here? When we're illustration students, are we here? What do you understand by silhouette? Huh? Figures and shadow. Are we here? So let me pick the first one you said. You talk about the figure. So your silhouette works with what? Works with the figure. That is how you look like. You understand? So that is what the silhouette means. So when we are talking about any kind of outfit that goes with your silhouette, you have to avoid that. Because number one, you have a straight body, and you are still wearing a kind of outfit that is fitted. It won't really go. No, to you, you can actually rock it if you feel, I don't care about every one of you. You understand? I care about myself and my look. You can do that. But if you want to follow the fashion or use a fashion sense kind of a thing, you have to know that you have to avoid any kind of a shoot, probably a shoot dress. You have to avoid probably a mammy dress. Do you understand? You have to avoid probably a trumpet kind of dress. But you can do with a ball dress, you can do with an A-line kind of a dress. Do you understand? It is very, very important. Hope I answered that.
Yes, you did.
All right.
So my second question is when you say A-line and mermaid, is it possible to see the difference between them?
Okay. The difference between your A-line and mermaid. Firstly, your A-line is a kind of a dress that is not really voluminous from the waistline. Do you understand? Something that comes, you know the way the A shapes look. From the waist, it will just come down straight. Do you understand? Though it can be a little bit, you know, I can cut it in a flare as well. Probably beginner's class, what are the degrees of flares we have? 720, 1440 degree flare. And we also have 180 degree flare. Do you understand? So you can actually do it with a 180 degree flare as well as an A-line kind of a dress. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So when we're talking about a mermaid dress is a kind of dress that is fitted from the shoulder part down to the motion point. Do you understand? And then the volume starts from where? The motion point to the floor length, or any length you want. So this is it. A mermaid dress can be on the down part, the volume can be in gathers, it can be in a flare, it can be paneled as well. I can use a cone kind of a flare on the down part, it depends. So far, you said it doesn't start from the waist. You know how a mermaid look like? Do you understand? It's always something, they always look small all the way to the motion point before anything. So it is very, very important that. And we have a difference. There's difference between your trumpet. Are we here?
Yes, sir.
There's difference between your trumpet dress and what? and a mermaid dress. They look alike, actually. But the difference is that the height at which the volume starts is closer to the hip for the trumpet. But when we're talking about the mermaid, it's a bit above the nail. Do you understand? It can be like 4 inches. It can even be like 6 inches. Do you understand? But you know that the distance is very close to what? To the nail. But the trumpet, the distance is very close to the hip. I've seen some trumpet that starts on the hip line. Do you understand? It goes down on the hip and then go directly down. It depends on how you want it. Hope I've answered your question.
Yes.
All right.
I think the last one would be like when it comes to trains and veils,
Okay.
it can be somewhat similar. So it's like, I guess like this one. Take this one. Yeah, you
Okay.
advise someone whether to use a train or to use a veil.
Okay. Let me answer that. When we're talking about the train and the veil, they're actually two different things. When I'm talking about the veil, what kind of fabric did I use for a veil? A what? A tulle fabric. When I'm talking about train, I can use any what? Any fabric. I can use a lace, I can use satin. Do you understand? They are two different things. You understand? A veil is always perforated. A veil is always a see-through kind of a thing. But when we talk of a train, we can use the main fabric to do what? To do a train. Do you understand? And your veil starts from where? From the crown. Your train starts from where? Probably it can start from your shoulder and where? And the waist area. Depends on where you want it. It's two different things. Hope you're clear on that. Any question again?
No, thank you.
Anybody? All right.
Please, can you have a veil and a train on the same dress?
Okay. Yes, you can have a veil and a train on the same dresses. So what will happen is this. Your veil is going to be a short length veil, while the train starts from where it stops to any desired length you want.
Can they cross themselves?
That's actually onto your own design. Do you understand? Okay, any questions? We are open for questions now, please. Can we ask questions? Beginners class, we are not asking questions now. All right?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The A-line dress and the mermaid dress. Okay, the mermaid dress. Is it also a flounce design?
Okay. All right, let me answer that. When we are talking about a mermaid dress, and we are talking about is a flounce. Let me say this. Flounce is, let me call a flounce kind of embellishment on your dress. Do you understand? Because the way we cut a flounce, it looks a little bit spiral. Are we here? So I can have a mermaid dress and still have a flounce on a mermaid dress. Do you understand? They are two different things. So the way you cut your flounce looks spiral. And the spiral thing can actually be attached on probably a flare kind of a mermaid dress. I can have a flare mermaid dress, joining a flare from where? From the motion points to my length, and then design the down part, which is on the flare, with a spiral kind of cutout. You can have that, but they are different. You can't call a mermaid dress a flounce. Do you understand? It's two different things. So we count it as one of the embellishments, attachments on a dress. Question? Any question, please? All these things as well, you can still make your research. Are we here? You can still make your research. How does the flounce look like? And how does the mermaid dress look like? You have to make your researches. It's very, very important. Questions, please. Ebere. You are not asking questions. Let's ask questions, please. You know the bridal showcase is coming up soon. So you have to ask questions.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Please, can you throw more light on trimming?
On trimming?
Yes.
All right. Basically, when I'm talking about, I was talking about trimming.
Yes.
All right. Are we here? When we're talking about trimmings, like I said earlier before, it's more or less like a kind of a pattern embellishment that will give or that will apply to the dress. I'm talking about a pattern embellishment. It can be some part of my lace fabric. Do you understand? Looking at what we have here, you will see that all these things are probably a cut-off from what? From a lace fabric. And like I said, they do sell them in what? In market. In what? In yardage. Do you understand? It can be in form of fabric. It can be in form of what? Plastic or something. It can be in form of a sequin. Do you understand? It depends on how it looks like, but it comes in what? In yardage. They don't come in pieces. Are we here? They don't come in what? In pieces. Except you actually want to start trimming out on your fabric one by one. Like what we have here now, I can have something like in pieces cut out to achieve this thing in the middle. Are we here? And I can have something like a fabric that they sell in yardage to achieve what? To achieve this kind of a thing in the middle. So trimmings works with anything, probably your fabric. It can be flowery. It can be something like all these rose flowers that they sell. It's still part of your trimming. It's something you can just cut out and then apply or attach to any dress you are making. Is that clear? All right.
Most trimmings can it be gummed or you have to sew it?
It can be gummed. You can tack it with your hand. You can. Some are even sewable. Do you understand?
There are some athletes or even like
Okay.
some are made plastic.
Yes.
Some even looks like iron.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why if you have something that looks like plastic, it's better you do what? You gum it down. If you have something like iron, it's better you do what? You gum it down. But if you have something that looks like fabric, you can actually do what? You can sew through. Do you understand? It depends on how you actually make or you have it in market, then you have that. Actually, there's something. Okay, we have a cloth gum. All this wool gum they sell in the market, B29 or something. They sell B16. We have B29. B29 is a bit harder, and it's easy to do what? To dry off than B16. It depends on how you want it. All those are meant for fabric. You said? All right. All those things are meant for gumming on fabric. It's better.
For instance, if someone makes a mistake with the application of this cutout, is there like a remover for you to start over, or once that mistake is made?
So that is why I said you have to take your time. Do you understand? If it's just one side I'm able to make today, go and rest. You can do the other one the next day. Because anybody that wants to do something like that, you have to be in your right state of mind. Are we here? You have to be in your, don't think about breakup at that moment. Don't think about breakup, don't think about makeup at that moment. Just think about the fabric. Concentrate on what you're doing so that you get it right. Are we here? So you can actually have a sketch of what you want, and then you work according to the what? To the sketch. Do you understand? It's very, very important.
Can still happen.
I know some mistake can still happen, but you can still do some makeups with the mistake. Any mistake you have on your fabric sometimes, or why design it, can actually turn out to something nice. All right.
I do have a question.
Okay. Who's one making the question? Okay.
Okay, in taking care of the fabric, especially when sewing, because you're most likely going to work with white and stuff like that. So can you give us like certain tips you can use when working with white or like light colored materials and things like that?
Okay, basically, like I said, your working space has to be tidied up. You understand? You're working, well, that's the first thing. Like, probably some of us that have kids, you understand, they may, because, hello, one house please. I remember like yesterday I was trying to work on a dress. And I went out to do something. By the time I came back, I met my last son trying to play with orange. One house, please. One house. One house, please. So, one house. Sorry, what's causing the... Sorry, let's pay attention. Actual what?
Are you married?
Yes. The reason why is that I'm always not comfortable with it.
Because it's like it's
So let's go back to the last section. All right. So the tips on how to take care of your garments. Number one, you have to do what? You have to tidy up your workspace. It is very, very important to tidy up your workspace. Because one okay, so after tidying up your workspace, the next thing is to be conscious of everything around you. Do you understand? If you tidy up your work space, that doesn't say you shouldn't probably drink or anything. You have to do what? You have to be conscious of everything around you. It is very, very important. Are you here? And another thing is that you have to look out for the machine. Let's make sure everything is what? In space. Everything is in place. Thank you. All right. So if it's in place, like probably like the oil. Do you understand? The machine oil. Don't let it split all over the whole place while it's sewing. Do you understand? Just make sure everything is in place and look out for everything around you. So that's the main thing I feel is necessary.
What about dry cleaning?
Okay, dry cleaning. Hello? Are we here? When we are talking about one house place, when we are talking about dry cleaning, there are some outfits or there are some design that the first time you made it is actually nicer than after dry cleaning. Do you understand? Because probably I'm working with two. Do you understand? There's some tool that comes, probably I'm using it for ruffles or everything. I still want that effect. Do you understand? So that is why you have to do your mock-up first. Dirty the mock-up anyhow you want to dirty it. And then you have to go back to the main fabric and make it look perfect. So the person can rock it after all you're done with it. And then probably when after the wedding day they can want it and dry clean whatever. But that doesn't stop if you are making some outfit, like probably you are doing with what's this kind of silk? Mikado silk, do you understand? You can still dry clean that and iron properly, because the more you iron your Mikado silk, the more finer it looks like. So that's just it. It depends on the fabric. Right.
Sorry, my last question.
Okay. This is it. In this, okay, yeah. Let me talk on that. Hello, one house, please. In this 2020 fashion kind of a thing. Are we here? Yes. 2020 fashion kind of a lifestyle. There's something we call an outfit transformer. Are we here? This is what we do now to avoid, I have a ball dress. Everything is attached together. I was unable to wear it again. Do you understand? The thing is that the transformer kind of a outfit is where you have almost everything detachable. Are you getting it? So I can have a ball dress and at the same time I'm still having a sheet dress. Do you understand what I'm saying? I can have a ball dress or a mermaid dress and at the same time I'm still having a mini kind of, or no, let me call it a mini, or probably a short kind of a dress. Are we here? So it depends on how we want the dress to look like. I can actually make the sleeve detachable. If I'm having a leg of mutton sleeve, I can detach everything. If I'm putting on a bolero, I can remove it and let it be just the two kind of a dress. Do you understand? It depends on how you want it. So it's better you make your outfits like that. Do you understand? If I am so much in love with a ball dress, but where will I wear it to after all? Do you understand? So they can make the ball dress detachable and then make something like a sheet kind of a dress underneath, because that will like, okay, I've seen the bride that actually rock that kind of outfit. She rocked the ball dress, she rocked a mermaid dress, and she still rock a sheet dress. All in one. So what they did is that for the ball dress, that's the first thing she wore. Then they removed the down parts, which is the ball parts. She removed the petticoats, everything. And then they attached another kind of a flare to the what? To the motion points. So that makes it look like what? Like a mermaid dress. Dance, all the stuff. They now remove what? The one underneath, and then it remains just a shape dress. So you can actually do a kind of transformer outfit to minimize or to curb, I can't wear again kind of a thing after the wedding. Did I answer that? All right. Question, please. Okay.
Have you ever worked on a wedding dress?
Yes, sir?
Have you ever worked on a wedding dress?
Have I ever worked on a wedding dress? That's a nice question. If I may count, I've worked like 18. Yeah.
Okay, so what were the challenges you went through in working with those dresses, and what did you learn after each dress?
Okay. How are we doing? Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Okay, this is it. I actually started the whole journey 10 years ago, and since then I've been challenging myself, because anything I do must be what? must be challenging. I have to make sure I challenge myself to achieve the greater part of the whole thing. So what I'm talking about is that if you're making, the first one I made, actually, I could remember that was 2012. Vividly, let me just say 2012 actually, because that was when I was just starting, like upcoming, not really like main thing, you understand? So I noticed that I actually wanted a long kind of a man-made dress. And the measurement I took on the client wasn't really enough to make that kind of dress. Do you understand? And another thing is that I haven't gotten how to take a proper measurement on the client. So by the time it's done, actually, the motion points looks a bit lower than the way it's supposed to look like. So what does that teach me? I learned that anytime I want to make a wedding dress, my measurements must be what? Must be perfect and accurate. Are we here? My measurements must be perfect and so accurate. Do you understand? It is very, very important. And another thing is that if you're making a dress, a wedding dress, I would advise you to divide the labor. Seriously. I'm being real here. Do you understand? I would advise you to do what? To divide the labor. It's a thing you can actually get some, some designers with you to make a fine dress, because your ideas are different. What I know may be different with what she knows and everything. So you guys have to bring together what you know to achieve the nice thing. The 18 I mentioned is excluding the student projects area. You understand? So we have made a lot, and we are still making.
Awesome.
All right.
Hold on, make it. Wait on.
The case whereby you have the ball dress and because of making it, like the net is already wrong fold. How do you get to iron?
Okay. You're making a what? A ball dress. And the cost of making this one. All right. So this is it. Hello, one house. This is it. It is important to do what? To do proper ironing on any fabric you are using before you do what? Before you start cutting out. Like from the market, you bought 2 nets. Hello, one house. From the market, you bought 2 nets. You can't expect the person selling in the market to start straightening fabrics for you. All the person is concerned about is what? Is to measure and cut and get out of the shop for another person to come in. Do you understand? But when you get to your workspace, you can actually do what? Proper ironing before you start cutting out. And that goes with other fabrics as well. Because it's not actually good for you to start cutting the fabric that is not well ironed. It is very, very important. But in case of making, you can't squeeze up. Do you understand? You spread while cutting. So while sewing, probably you want to make a gathers. I don't think that should add any kind of a thing to your dress. So that's actually from where? From the market. Where you bought it from.
When you get to deliver it and when the person tries to go,
Alright, this is it. Hello. If you're making a wedding dress, after the finishing, after the whole thing, it now depends on how you package it yourself. Are we here? For a wedding dress, you can't expect to put everything in a normal bag like this. Do you understand? Do you understand? We have all this, what do they call it? A not transparent nylon, it's more or less like a slide kind of a bag, like they use for the suits. We have the longer ones. Do you understand? Even a box, you are still going to put it like pack it. But it's better, it's what? It's in a kind of a
down case. A down case.
A gown case, kind of. So a gown case, it can be like a suit bag. It looks longer than the suit bags. So bringing it out from there, you won't have to fold anything. You just have to spread it out inside the bag. So the way you package it, probably you put it inside a bag, nylon bag. Don't do that again. So it's very, very important. Your packaging as well is very, very important. So this is it. You have to add those things to the cost of what? Cost of making production. Don't say if someone come around and it's called it 500K. You understand? Like they used to do the school fees. They break it down. This is this, this is this. Sometimes. That is if a client is asking you that, okay, what's all this? What's the breakdown of what you're just collecting money? You understand? It's important as well. So, any question again? All right, so thank you for coming around. Hope you enjoyed it.